Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar's Learning app. Now we are going to discuss the chapter name called Fundamental Duties under your Indian Polity. So, fundamental duties. The constitution is providing for the citizen of this nation to follow some duties fundamentally. Okay, so there are 11 guidelines to the citizens which is provided under the constitution. These guidelines supposed to follow by the citizens of this nation, abide by the constitution. The original constitution did not mention about the fundamental duties. Okay, the idea has been taken from the Soviet Union constitution, that is USSR. Okay, USSR now which is known as Russia. And now even Russia does not have them. Earlier, USSR used to adopt these fundamental duties for their citizens. Even now, the Russia does not have this fundamental duties. But since Indian constitution is following the fundamental duties that has to be followed by the citizen of this nation. Okay, probably only Japan is one such major country which has an exclusive chapter on the fundamental duties in their constitution. In 1976, the fundamental duties to citizens were added in the constitution. Remember the year 1976, the fundamental duties were added in the Indian constitution. Okay, in 2002, one more fundamental duty was added. Okay, after 1975 national emergency, Indira Gandhi's government come up with the adding of fundamental duties in the Indian constitution. Okay, so the fundamental duties, they were added in our Indian constitution based on the recommendation given by Swaran Singh committee. Okay, Swaran Singh committee. Every time is there any kind of debates or kind of discussion they wanted to add or delete something from the Indian constitution, means they'll come up with one committee or commission. That committee head used to give the recommendation to the parliament. Based on that, there will be changes. So based on the recommendation given by Swaran Singh committee, which was constituted by then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi in the year of 1975, based on that recommendation only, these fundamental duties were added in the year of 1976. It recommended only 8 fundamental duties in the with pecuniary punishments as well. However, the government did not welcome the punishment part. So, if you are not following these duties, there is no punishment for that, but the citizen is supposed to follow these duties. A new part, which is 4A, a new article 51A was added by virtue of 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. As per the Constitutional Amendment Act in the year of 1976, a new Part 4A of Indian Constitution were added. A new article also added, which is known as Article 51A, provides you the fundamental duties. 10 duties were added based on this article. Presently, there are 11 duties. The 11th fundamental duty were added by 86th Amendment Act of 2002. Amendment means, coming up with 3/4 majority of the parliament and can be added in the constitution as well. Okay, so remember this, part 4A of your constitution carries fundamental duties, and also the new article were added in the year of 1976, name called 51A, and 11th fundamental duty were added in the year of 2002 under the 86th Amendment Constitution Act. Okay, so we'll see what are the 11 fundamental duties a citizen supposed to follow in India, which is abide by the constitution. To abide by the constitution and respect its deals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. Okay, every citizen is supposed to follow the rules and regulations which is given by the constitution, that is law of the nation, and the citizen is supposed to respect the national flag and the national anthem. Second fundamental duty is to cherish and follow the noble ideals that inspired the national struggle for freedom. You know about our leaders who fought for India's independence. Their ideology is supposed to be preserved, and also we need to respect and we need to follow that ideology. Such, we can take an example of Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhian principles. Gandhian principles is non-violence. To uphold, third duty, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, integrity of India. Okay, unity in diversities are most significant one compared to other countries in the world, and also integrity and also sovereignty. Okay, we need to preserve, also protect all these three. The fourth fundamental duty is to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. If country is in danger, we need to defend the country, okay, from the outsiders. So every citizen supposed to follow that as a fundamental duty. Okay, fifth one is to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India, transcending the religious, linguistic, regional or sectional diversities, and also dignity of women. Religious, multiple religions we do have in India, and linguistic basis. Around 150 plus languages and around 1500 dialects are there in our country, and also regional issues as well as the sectional issues. And we need to safeguard the dignity of women. As a citizen, you need to follow all this thing, because promoting harmony, which always gives you brotherhood feeling, and so that the nation is to be good without any kind of problems with this much of diversification. Okay, sixth one is to value and preserve the rich heritage of country's composite culture. Okay, you know about all the monuments in India was given by different dynasties and different empire. That is, our ideal of India's culture. We need to preserve all those culture and heritage of the country. Okay, to protect improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, to have compassion for the living creatures. We always depend on the nature. The nature is also depending on us. So the forest, lakes, rivers, all wildlife, all this supposed to be improved, and we need to preserve the natural environment around us. Next one is to develop scientific temper, humanism, spirit of inquiry and reform. Okay, humanism supposed to be there is in case of any flood or natural calamities. We need to be a humanity ground, and we need to help, and also we need to preserve that. Next, to safeguard the public property and to abjure any kind of violence. You can see a lot of protests are happening. If any violence broke out in any state, they are directly attacking the public property, such buses or any public buildings. To safeguard the public property is one of the fundamental duty of the citizen, because it is not the money from any parties or the leaders, the money from the people only all these public properties were made. So we need to safeguard the public property. Next one is to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, so that the nation constantly rises to the higher levels. Any kind of endeavor and achievements, we need to collective responsibility for development of our country. Next, to improve opportunities for education to his child or ward between the age of 6 and 14 years. Compulsory education supposed to be given to the kids who belong to age 6 to 14 years. Okay, so these are all the major fundamental duties which comes under your Article 51A of your Indian Constitution. So based on this, we'll practice some quiz. The first question is, in which year the fundamental duties were incorporated in our Constitution? Okay, as I told you, 1976, as per the recommendation of Swaran Singh Committee. The Swaran Singh Committee formed under the guideline of Indira Gandhi government. Okay, question number 2. Fundamental duties in Indian Constitution borrowed from which constitution? Soviet Union, USSR, right now, which is known as Russia. But remember, Russia is not following. One such country is following this fundamental duties, that is Japan. In the Constitution of India, the fundamental duties are mentioned in which of the following article? As I told you, 51A, Article 51A, which carries the 11 fundamental duties of the Indian citizens. Which among the following is not listed in the fundamental duty in the Constitution of India? We discussed 11 points. To abide by the Constitution, yes. Sovereignty, yes, we need to protect. Public property to be safeguarded, but there is no term called to pay taxes. Okay, so to pay taxes will not come under the fundamental duty, because it is abided by the law. We have a different category of paying taxation system in India. Okay, so to pay taxes will not come under your fundamental duties. Next question, fundamental duties were incorporated in the Constitution on the recommendation of which committee? Okay, as I told you, Swaran Singh Committee. The Swaran Singh Committee in the year of 1976 come up with the recommendation. Based on that only, we got to know what is fundamental duties. So as a citizen, whatever abide by the Constitution under Article 51A, we need to follow everything. And remember, if you are not following it, it will not come under any punishment. It is about the conscience of people to follow the fundamental duties. Okay, to practice more question on this chapter and go back and just observe all the points which we discussed in this session. Okay, thank you. We'll see you on next session.